At this point, we've talked about a potential sequel to Superman Returns more than a potential sequel of Man of Steel was ever discussed. So it's not surprising that some clarifications had to be made and sort of explaining how we got to where we were with all the chatter. So let's talk about the idea of making a Superman Returns sequel that's sort of like Superman Kingdom Come with Brendan Routh. So just recently, Mark Guggenheim, the man who helped start up the Arrowverse and that whole era of the WBDC shared continuity TV universe that then spun off into all those other branching TV shows like Constantine, Titans, and all that. Obviously, he's pretty important, and recently he was asked about the process of making a sequel to Superman Returns, whether there's any truth to it, previous comments that were made. And if you guys missed it, it was in 2021 that Brendan Routh said that he was looking into and talking to people about a potential return to the Superman role for the CW, picking up after where the Crisis episode left off. Then recently we heard that, hey, they would like to do it. They pitched it, they talked about it, they've talked about it to great lengths, they've had ideas. Well, Guggenheim recently came out and talked a little bit more about that, talking about how, yeah, there were discussions on a lot of potential ways that they could go with Superman, with spin offs, with expanding the universe, with adding more to the Arrowverse. And if you guys remember, at the time that Crisis on Infinite Earths happened, the plan was still to continue expanding. That's why they set up the whole Justice League. Superman and Lois was set up as a spin-off in the same continuity. But once they realized that's not going to happen anymore, we're being sold off, everything's being piecemealed out, they pulled back on it. But the plan was to expand. But Guggenheim clarified this by saying, yeah, talks were talks, but it's not really something that got further than that. And he did post, and we did get this, which is kind of cool, some artwork, concept art based on Routh as that Superman. But that's pretty much it. He says it's kind of just one of these things that got out there. There it is. Was it discussed? Yeah. Were things discussed? Yes. Can things possibly happen? Sure. Will they? Probably not. So that's a update that I think most people thought would happen, and now we have it. Nothing much can happen with the idea. And since Gunn and Safran didn't even want Superman and Lois on the air at the same time as Superman Legacy's coming out, there's no way we're getting another competing Superman project. Just not gonna happen.